Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Keeping It Real with Rob. I am Colin Fegeley, and our guest today happens to be Rob Connett. Rob, how are you today?
Hey, pretty good. It's weird to have the roles reversed here a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you full credit for this. This was your idea. I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone, but we're going to give this a shot for sure. But as you can see today, I am the host. You are the guest. And for those of you watching that maybe don't know Rob, Rob is Green Level Athletic Sports Information Director, and he also does a lot of PA work for us here on campus and has become an important part of our athletics community. So we need to get to know you a little bit better. So we are going to start here with some questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So first, just take us back to a younger Rob Connett, high school. How did you get involved in PA announcing, athletics? Just take us back a little bit and tell us a little bit about yourself from high school on forward.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, I'm from Indiana. Grew up in northern Indiana, and really, from what my parents tell me, and I kind of remember it as a kid, but I've just always had a passion for sports, playing it, watching it, announcing it, broadcasting it. My parents tell me that there's probably a VHS tape, which kids VHS is like the little block thing that you put into the VCR. Yeah, old time thing. But there's a VHS tape of me like when I'm 5, and I'm in my room. I got like a little circle rug, and I got my Hot Wheels, and I'm doing like my own little race, like Jeff Gordon's going into turn number 4. So I've always had a passion for like broadcasting and announcing sports. When I was in middle school, we had a family friend who was the PA announcer at my high school, and I told my dad, like, I want to do that. Like, I want to be on the microphone. I want to announce, basketball and football and stuff like that. And so my dad reached out to our family friend and was like, hey, could Rob sit with you during a game and you just kind of show him how everything works? So I was in like 6th, 7th grade. And then 8th grade, so I was still in middle school. My very first PA announcing gig was for our high school baseball team. And that year they happened to go 35-0, win the state championship. Some of the guys went on to play college and professional, got drafted into the major leagues. But that was my very first gig. I was in 8th grade.
Can I stop you there real quick?
Yeah.
So you were an 8th grader and you were the PA announcer for the high school team.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. That's unusual and incredibly awesome. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I literally half my life. I turned 30 in a couple months, and I started when I was 15. So, and it's always just been a big passion of mine, and I've always reached out and tried everything. And I'm closing in on like 900 events, whether at high school or college level, of PA announcing just about everything.
Man, that is awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. So you mentioned Indiana. You're from Indiana. I have never been to Indiana. So just talk to us a little bit about Indiana, like things that we need to know, like the best foods in Indiana, like what makes Indiana unique. Why do you love to call Indiana home? Just give us a little Indiana primer for those that have never been to the Hoosier State.
The Hoosier State, that's right. The cliches are real. Everyone is saying, there's nothing, it's just flat farmland, and there's just cornfields and soybeans, and that's just all it is, county roads. And that's essentially what it is. I growing up, you're like, yeah, whatever. But honestly, ever since I moved down here to North Carolina a year ago and realized that like down here in North Carolina, there's so many, just the landscape is so different because there's just trees everywhere and hills and roads that go like this everywhere. In Indiana, it's literally like north, south, east, west, cornfields, bean fields. And that's where I grew up. I grew up in rural Wells County. Our high school, literally, you took a highway and there was a county road and there was a flashing yellow light and there's cornfields, and then they just dropped high school, like just right there. We had FFA, future farmers of America, and every year they had drive your tractor to school day. Uh, I never, I didn't grow up on a farm or anything, but our neighbors, I had so many friends that their families or generations, lots of farmland for sure.
We have FFA too at Green Level, and it's a pretty prominent club, but I'm guessing probably count maybe on one hand the number of Gators that own tractors. So we'll see if we can put that to the test. But no, I didn't mean to cut you off. One thing I'm curious, like, is there an Indiana delicacy, like favorite food from back home? It's like you got to try this in Indiana. It's a thing.
Indiana is known for tenderloins, breaded
Pork?
tenderloin sandwich.
Is that pork? Is that beef?
Pork tenderloin.
Pork.
Yep. And it's incredible because all the restaurants, so many restaurants across Indiana, like try to have the biggest tenderloin. And it is, I mean, you flatten it out, you stretch it out, and so you get like a normal sized bun, and then the tenderloin, like the bun, like if you Google Indiana tenderloin, you'll just start laughing because like you have a regular sized bun and it takes up like a quarter of the entire sandwich, and then you put lettuce and mayonnaise and pickles and everything else, that ketchup, whatever you want to put on it. But tenderloins is definitely a thing. Corn, obviously, with all the cornfields that we have in Indiana.
Yes.
We were just talking about this on my radio show because my parents actually came down to visit a couple weekends ago, and they brought sugar cream pie, which is another Indiana thing. And on my radio show, I asked my dad, I'm like, describe, for anyone that's never heard of sugar cream pie, explain what sugar cream pie is. Dad goes, sugar, cream. That's about it. I mean, it's exactly what you think it is. But it's so good. It's so good. Yeah.
Well, those two ingredients, I imagine, probably go pretty well together. So next time you're at Green Level and you get your hands on a sugar cream pie, please bring one over for us to sample.
Will do.
I know the teachers would enjoy that for sure. All right, so you've lived in North Carolina now for about a year. Is that right? What's been like your best North Carolina experience so far? Maybe somewhere you've been, favorite restaurant, just like, I don't know, something you really liked about the state.
Man, that's tough. As soon as my wife and I moved down here, everyone told us about barbecue, and we knew like Carolina barbecue is a big, huge thing. So that was like the first thing we went to, and what we've been trying to do for the last year is just go to different restaurants and try different barbecue. Like what's the best? I'm still trying to figure out. I don't know if I'm a fan of the vinegar barbecue.
It's the Eastern-Western debate.
Right.
Yeah, you got to take sides at some point. Yeah,
Right,
you got to take sides.
That's the thing is I have to take sides of that. And I know I'm wearing a Carolina polo right now. It's because I do stuff. I PA announce and do some broadcasting for them. But the one thing that I really didn't realize until I moved down here. So living in Indiana or any other part of the country, you obviously hear about the Carolina Duke basketball rivalry. Did not even know it was a thing. Did not even know it was as big until I moved down here. Carolina and State. Like I have to explain, right, Wolfpack. I had to explain to my friends and family back in Indiana, like you hear about Carolina Duke, and that's a big rivalry. But people down here, it's crazy at how it's like Indiana and Purdue. I'm a Purdue guy going back to Indiana. But NC State and Carolina is just as big of a rivalry, and I had no idea until I moved down here. But so I'm totally embracing, the whole barbecue debate, the Carolina State Duke, all that rivalry. Having fun with that as well.
So when this interview publishes, I'm going to take a screen grab of you doing, the wolf with that Carolina polo. That could be, that could be valuable later on. So I appreciate that. Especially as an NC State graduate, I'm only moderately offended by your attire today. So appreciate that as well. All right. So let's change topics. So movies have been like all the rage lately. You got Barbie, of course, you got Oppenheimer, you got the new Mission Impossible movie. So movies have been on my mind. So for your money, the best sports movie ever, like your favorite sports movie?
Hoosiers.
Hoosiers. Wow. Should have guessed. All
I
right,
mean,
fair enough. All right.
should have saw that coming.
What is a Hoosier? Can you share that with us as well? Because I don't even know what that is.
There are people from Indiana that don't even know.
Oh, good. All right. Well, I'm not the
Yeah,
only
yeah,
one
yeah.
then.
I'm sure if you took a poll from people in Indiana, like, what is a Hoosier? They're like, people from Indiana. Like, but the background, I think the story that I've heard more than others is like way, way, way like, Indiana became a state in like 1816, like way back in the day. It was one of those like, hey, how are you? And the guy goes, Hoosier. Who's there? Who? And it's like Hoosier, who's there?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that like that's the story I hear more than anything else. But yeah, I would say a majority of people that live in Indiana don't even really know, besides like someone that goes to Indiana University because they're the Indiana Hoosiers. But
Hoosiers. Right.
yeah.
All
But the
Well,
movie,
good.
the
That makes
movie's great.
oh, all right. Yeah, Hoosiers is a great movie. It's definitely, I don't know, it's in my top, definitely my top 20. Maybe top 15. It's good, but for me, it's Remember the Titans. I don't know if that makes your list or not, but and then some of the Rocky movies are in there. You got Miracle. I don't know. I could talk sports movies for a minute, so we'll save
I
that for
would put
another
it. I put
podcast.
Field of Dreams probably
Field
two.
of Dreams.
Yeah.
The Natural. I've seen Natural. Field of Dreams is excellent. And I love what they're doing. I don't know if the Major League Baseball is going to continue to do that Field of Dreams game thing. That's really cool.
It's awesome. I think aren't they building like an actual like permanent stadium there?
I think so. Yeah, yeah. And that's in Iowa. That's not in Indiana, right?
No,
Iowa,
yeah, it's Iowa. Yeah.
Okay, all right, got it. I get some of the corn states mixed up. So. All right, so same kind of vein. You have a favorite actor? Like if this actor's in a movie, you're like, all right, I gotta catch this.
Ooh. I've always been a fan of Will Ferrell.
Good one. Yeah, can't go wrong there.
Yeah, just a very classic. But and Tom Hanks. Lots of classic movies with Tom Hanks.
Dude, I think that might be my answer. If I was asked the question, I think I would have said Tom Hanks and Will Ferrell. Those two guys are just like, I don't know. They're great. We're obviously sports. We're gonna start with some sports here. So let's just talk favorite team. So favorite NBA team.
NBA team would probably be the Pacers.
Or how about baseball? You got a favorite team in majors?
Oh, Red Sox fan.
Red Sox fan. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been to a game at Fenway?
Yes. Heaven on earth.
All right, NFL. Got an NFL team you follow?
Colts.
Colts. Here we are back to Indianapolis. And hockey. Let's get out of Indiana. Hockey.
Honestly, I mean, ever since moving down here, and I'm not just saying this, but like I've already gone to a couple games. The Hurricanes atmosphere, the game, the team, the fans is awesome. It's so cool. We're going to be going to the season opener coming up in October. It's so much fun. So I'm an adopted Carolina Hurricanes fan.
All right, ice cream flavor favorite.
Can't go wrong with cookie dough. But if we're talking just like an ice cream cone, I go with the swirl. I gotta get vanilla and chocolate.
And that's like the soft serve that comes out of the machine typically. Yeah, it's all right. It melts super fast, but it's a superior product if you can get after it. All right, so been down here in the North Carolina area a little bit. We talked about some food a little bit, but do you have like a favorite local restaurant, like place you and the wife like, hey, this is a good spot? Maybe a little recommendation for our viewers.
We have found ourselves going to Ruckus a lot. They got one in Apex. They got one in Morrisville. We've been to both.
Yep.
We've gone with a couple of coaches and parents after a couple of green level games. They're the ones that introduced us to it. But I mean, everything there is good. You can get a giant slice of pizza. You can get a chicken wrap. You can get a burger. You can get pasta. I mean, they got everything, and it's so good. Ruckus.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Ruckus. Ruckus. If you're listening, we'd love to talk to you about a corporate sponsorship. Green Level Athletics. We obviously got a fan here as our sports information guy. We can promote you. Yeah, Ruckus is a legit spot. We like that one too, for sure. All right. Well, we are up on time. We've gone almost 20 minutes. Rob, it has been great talking with you. I enjoyed flipping the script today. Hopefully I didn't ruin the brand too bad. And maybe eventually I can do this again, man. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks so much. Looking forward to doing a lot of more podcasts this upcoming school year and PA announcing and diving into some SID stuff. Like it's going to be a really good, exciting year for Green Level Athletics. We just introduced the app as well, so a lot of cool things on the way for Green Level.
That is true. Download it today in the App Store, Green Level Athletics app. Also available on Android, the Google Play Store. Check that out for sure. But yeah, I'm very excited about this school year for sure. I think we're gonna have some incredible teams taking the field and the court and the trail and the pool and you name it. So super excited about the season ahead. And for those of you listening, fall sports start on July 31st. So that's 1 week from this recording date. So we're getting really close. So hard at work here at school, getting things ready, man. But thank you again for your time.
Thanks, Colin.